In early reports that surfaced from multiple unofficial social media accounts, information began to circulate suggesting that the personal manager of BTS member Jungkook had recently been the target of what were described as mysterious threats. The initial details were fragmented, with no immediate confirmation from BTS's management agency or official representatives. However, the consistency of similar claims from different online discussions began to draw attention from both the fan community and independent media monitors. The first mention of the alleged threats appeared in the form of a brief post on a popular Korean entertainment discussion forum. The message, posted under an anonymous account, claimed that individuals connected to BTS's security detail had been made aware of repeated attempts to intimidate one of the group's management staff members. The post did not specifically name Jungkook's manager, but the descriptions and timeline provided in the discussion led some readers to believe that the person in question was closely involved in Jungkook's daily professional schedule. Within hours, screenshots of the forum post were shared across multiple platforms, including Twitter, now X, Instagram, and private fan group chats. The rapid spread of the information was typical of how entertainment-related rumors gained traction in the digital era. Each repost of the claims seemed to expand on the story, sometimes adding unverified elements, such as the alleged nature of the threats or speculation about the motive. In the absence of clear official statements, public curiosity began to grow. The original post referenced messages of a concerning nature that had reportedly been delivered through both direct communication channels and indirect means. No specifics about the content of these messages were included, and it was unclear whether they involved digital communication, physical letters, or verbal confrontations. The lack of concrete evidence in these early discussions made it difficult for independent observers to assess the seriousness of the claims. One reason the speculation focused specifically on Jungkook's manager was the figure's known visibility within fan-shot photographs and behind-the-scenes footage. In the K-pop industry, certain managers often become recognizable to fans due to their frequent public appearances alongside artists during airport departures, concert rehearsals, and international schedules. While their names and personal details are usually kept private, their roles place them in close proximity to the artists they manage, making them identifiable figures in media coverage. As the rumor gained momentum, various online accounts claimed to have insider knowledge about the situation. Some users suggested that the threats were connected to scheduling disputes or dissatisfaction from external parties about the way Jungkook's public appearances had been handled. Others speculated about unrelated issues involving the entertainment industry's competitive environment. At this stage, there was no verifiable link between the claims and any documented incident. The following day, several Korean entertainment news portals began referencing the online chatter in brief updates. These articles tended to frame the situation cautiously, often using phrases such as alleged or reportedly to avoid making definitive statements. Some outlets noted that they had reached out to HYB, BTS's agency, for clarification but had not received an official response. The lack of comment was interpreted in different ways. Some saw it as a standard practice of not acknowledging unconfirmed rumors, while others viewed it as a possible sign that the matter was being handled privately. Meanwhile, conversations about the alleged threats began to merge with discussions about general security concerns faced by K-pop idols and their teams. Fans and commentators recalled past incidents in which artists or staff members have been followed, harassed, or targeted online. The entertainment industry's high level of public exposure often places not just the performers, but also their close associates in the public eye, sometimes making them targets of unwanted attention. The situation also highlighted the evolving role of social media in the early stages of information dissemination. In previous decades, stories about potential threats to an artist's team might have been contained within private circles until confirmed by an official statement. In the current environment, however, a single anonymous post can quickly become a trending topic, reaching millions before any verification occurs. The third day after the initial post, the story had become widely known within the BTS fanbase, even among international audiences. While many were skeptical of the claims, the volume of discussion ensured that it was a topic of interest regardless of the accuracy of the details. Some independent bloggers began to compile timelines based on public sightings of Jungkook and his team, attempting to identify moments when the manager might have appeared distressed or absent from events. However, such analyses were purely speculative and lacked any direct confirmation from involved parties. Interestingly, while many rumors in the entertainment world fade quickly without official confirmation, this one maintained traction due to the ongoing absence of clear denial. This does not necessarily indicate validity. Agencies often choose not to respond to certain types of speculation to avoid giving them further visibility. Still, the pattern of silence left room for continued theorizing. At the same time, discussions emerged about the legal and ethical implications of spreading unverified claims about individuals who are not public figures in the same way the artists themselves are. Managers, security staff, and other behind-the-scenes professionals are typically not equipped to deal with large-scale public attention, yet in high-profile cases, they can find themselves at the center of public speculation. From a procedural standpoint, if the threats described in the online posts were indeed real, it is likely that internal reporting channels within the agency would have been activated. Large entertainment companies maintain protocols for handling situations that may endanger their staff, often involving coordination with law enforcement or private security contractors. However, without official acknowledgement, there was no public indication of such measures being taken. By the end of the first week since the rumor's emergence, the online conversation showed signs of branching into two separate narratives. One focused on attempting to uncover more details about the alleged threats, while the other turned into a broader discussion about the pressures and risks faced by individuals in close professional proximity to globally recognized celebrities. The overlap between these narratives meant that even without new information, the topic remained active across social media platforms. To end this first phase, the key features of the situation were its anonymity, lack of verification, and rapid spread. The story had not yet moved into the realm of confirmed fact or fully dismissed rumor, existing instead in a gray area where public attention was driven more by curiosity than by clear evidence. This environment set the stage for what would follow in the subsequent chapters, as the speculation either escalated or dissipated depending on how, or if, official sources chose to address it. To understand the significance of the claims made in the early online discussions, it is important to examine how management operations for BTS are structured, particularly the role of individual managers assigned to each member. BTS operates under HYB Corporation, formerly known as Big Hit Entertainment, which manages not only the group as a whole but also individual schedules and brand activities for each member. Within this system, managers function as critical intermediaries between the artists, the agency, and the outside world. A manager in the context of the K-pop industry performs duties that extend beyond what is typically expected in Western music management structures. They are not only responsible for coordinating schedules and ensuring timely attendance at events, but also for facilitating communication between artists and various departments of the agency, including marketing, production, and public relations. They may also be involved in arranging transportation, overseeing on-site logistics at events, and making rapid decisions in response to unexpected situations. In BTS's case, each member often has one or more dedicated managers who focus on their specific needs in addition to group-wide staff members. This layered approach allows the agency to handle the complexity of managing a global supergroup while still tailoring attention to individual careers. For Jungkook, the youngest member of the group, a dedicated manager would likely be tasked with coordinating his music recording sessions, rehearsal schedules, public appearances, and endorsements, while also ensuring he meets all group obligations. The relationship between an artist and their manager in such high-pressure circumstances is often one of trust and confidentiality. Managers are frequently privy to personal information, unreleased creative work, and internal company decisions. This makes them both valuable assets and, in some cases, potential targets for unwanted attention from individuals seeking access to the artist or sensitive information. Security protocols for BTS's managers are not widely publicized, for obvious reasons. However, observations from public events and industry interviews suggest that managers operate in close physical proximity to the members during travel and appearances. At airports, for example, they are often seen walking directly beside the artists. From a corporate perspective, the management structure is designed to minimize risk by assigning tasks and responsibilities in a distributed fashion. High-level decision-making about scheduling and security is handled by senior management and dedicated teams, while individual managers focus on execution and day-to-day oversight. This ensures that no single staff member has control over all aspects of an artist's career, which in turn reduces the impact should any one person face interference. Still, the personal manager is often the first point of contact for situations that require immediate action, whether it be a change in travel plans, a last-minute media request, or an urgent security matter. This operational reality underscores why any credible threat directed at a manager would be taken seriously, not only for the safety of the staff member themselves, but also because of the potential implications for the artist's schedule and security. The broader environment of K-pop management is also relevant here. In recent years, there have been documented cases of managers and other staff receiving unsolicited packages, persistent phone calls, or online harassment linked to their association with popular idols. While such incidents do not necessarily escalate into physical danger, they can disrupt workflow and create additional pressure in an already demanding profession. Agencies have responded by implementing stricter access controls, rotating staff assignments, and reinforcing privacy guidelines for employees. In this operational context, the rumors regarding Jungkook's manager take on a different dimension. If indeed the alleged threats occurred, they would represent not just a personal matter for the individual involved, but a professional issue with potential implications for the broader team. Given that managers are central to the coordination of a celebrity's professional life, any disruption to their work can have a cascading effect. Another layer to consider is the global scale of BTS's operations. Managers are not only dealing with domestic schedules in South Korea, but also international travel, which involves different security protocols depending on the destination. In some countries, local security services may coordinate directly with the agency's staff. In others, the agency must arrange for private contractors. This complexity adds further logistical challenges to the role and increases the number of points at which an external party might attempt contact. At the time of the early online discussions about the alleged threats, there was no public indication of changes to BTS's official schedules that might reflect heightened security measures. Jungkook continued with his planned appearances, and fan-recorded footage from those events showed his manager present in the usual capacity. This continuity of operations did not necessarily confirm or deny the rumors, but suggested that, if any security concerns existed, they had not yet led to a visible disruption. In summary, the background of BTS's management operations reveals why the position of a personal manager is both vital and, in certain situations, vulnerable. The role demands constant interaction with the public environment surrounding the artist, and while professional protocols exist to reduce risks, complete isolation from potential threats is not always possible. This operational reality sets the stage for understanding the seriousness with which any credible threat would be assessed, and why even unverified claims can quickly draw public interest in the high-profile context of BTS. Following the initial wave of online speculation and the closer look at BTS's management structure, the next area of focus is the nature of the threats reportedly directed toward Jungkook's personal manager. While no official statement has confirmed the specifics, recurring descriptions in online discussions have provided a broad outline of what these threats may have involved. These accounts remain unverified, but their consistency across multiple independent posts is notable from an observational standpoint. The earliest claims describe the threats as mysterious rather than explicitly dangerous, a distinction that generated further debate about their seriousness. In this context, mysterious appeared to refer to the vague, cryptic manner in which the messages were delivered. Rather than direct statements of harm, the communications reportedly contained ambiguous phrases, references to personal information, and suggestions that the sender possessed knowledge about the manager's professional activities. The format of the alleged threats was a point of early discussion. Several forum contributors speculated that they might have been sent through private social media accounts, email, or even handwritten notes left in locations associated with the manager's work. Others pointed to the possibility of indirect messages, such as posts on public platforms that, while appearing to address no one specifically, contained details recognizable only to the intended recipient. This type of communication can create an unsettling effect without crossing into overtly criminal language, making it harder to address through legal channels. One recurring element in the online descriptions was the suggestion that the messages included references to specific dates, times, or locations connected to Jungkook's schedule. While these details may have been drawn from publicly available information, such as tour announcements, airport sightings, or media schedules, their targeted presentation toward the manager could be perceived as a form of